In this video, I'm going to talk about the new album by the band Fozzy called Boombox. The album was released on May 6, 2022. I'll be talking about the band, the songs. I'll give my final thoughts and score out of 10. Fozzy was a band started by professional wrestler Chris Jericho. The other members of the band are former members of the band like Stuck Mojo and a few others. So according to Chris Jericho, if Metallica and Journey had a bastard child, it would be Fozzy. The band's first two albums were mostly cover songs, bands like Judas Priest, Wasp, and Dio. But by the fourth album, they were writing all the songs. This brings us to 2019. They signed with Sony Music, and they announced they were recording their next album. And this album would be number 8, Boombox. So the first single, Nowhere to Run, that was released in 2019. The album was supposed to be released in 2020, and they even thought of actually calling the album 2020. But it got delayed and eventually released on May 6, 2022. The album opens with Sane. My first impression was that it reminded me of like 2000s nu metal. The guitars reminded me of the band Disturbed. The vocal style was very different. There are also elements of Linkin Park in the song as well. The lyrics seemed very simple, but I liked how they changed up the sound in the breakdown. I thought the song was kind of like catchy, so really not that bad. The next song is I Still Burn. This one has a very modern pop type of sound. It's more of a ballad and seems a little heavier on the electronics. This one was too commercial and modern sounding for me, so I didn't really like it that much, but on a positive note, the lyrics were uplifting and the guitar solo was good. Purifier starts with some demonic voices and heavy metal riffing. This one is pretty good, and for some reason it sounds like an Ozzy Osbourne song, more from like the later days. It's fast-paced, heavy, but at the same time very melodic and catchy. This is one of the heavier songs and maybe one of the better ones. Army of One is a ballad with acoustic guitars and orchestration. The lyrics were well written and uplifting. Standard power ballad, and the electric guitars do come in like in the second verse. I thought it was decent. It was a good ballad. It reminded me of like those 80s style hair metal ballads. Ugly on the Inside was a good song. It had like a different, like a slower, grungier, maybe a little like Alice in Chains. It was catchy, melodic, had that classic sound. They had the chorus. They're like, U-G-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi. And they had like the kids in the chorus singing that. Also maybe one of the better songs on the album. Next is a cover of Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. The song is very true to the original. It's not heavy. It just keeps that new wave style. I guess slightly more modern production. This one was just okay for me. Actually, not even that good. But next is the lead single, Nowhere to Run. This was just okay for me as well. It's a little catchy, but not that great. My Great Wall was a slightly heavier song with a lot of electronics and pop production. This one was also too commercial for me. There was like one part towards the end of the song I liked. They did play some heavy riffs and some like softer piano, but otherwise I didn't really get into that one. What Hell Is Like is one of the heavier songs. It has a thick bass sound. There's a part in the song where they try to get like really heavy, but in the end the song is still just very like polished and just kind of like a pop song. I enjoyed the heavy riffs, but the song was just okay for me. Omen is another heavy song with a darker tone. It's like the band is trying to play like Black Sabbath mixed with a like modern like nu metal style production. Another one where Chris Jericho sounds a little like Ozzy Osbourne. It's also one of like sounding more like one of Ozzy's later songs. So this is pretty good. The Worst Is Yet to Come. This one has heavy guitars mixed very low. The electronics are more in the forefront. The guitar solo was kind of simple, but it worked in the context of the song. It has a steady like plodding beat, melodic chorus. I thought it was just okay. The last song, The Vulture Club, has Chris Jericho doing like this other, like another Ozzy Osbourne impression. The song is heavy pop music, actually has some like near death metal style vocals at one point, and like a super like shredding solo. This one's not too bad. There are some heavy moments, but the song is a nice pace, heavy drum beat. I think it's just very polished. It's a decent song to end the album. So, in conclusion, the album was just okay for me. I've not really listened to this band before, so I'm going into this as a newcomer. In the beginning, I quoted Chris Jericho saying that the band was a cross between Metallica and Journey, but in my opinion, it's more like a cross between Disturbed and Imagine Dragons. And like imagine like Ozzy Osbourne making like a guest appearance now and then. So Songs I liked best were the heavier ones. They were mostly towards the end of the album. So like Purifier, then Omen and Vulture Club. The relaxed cover was pointless. It was kind of too close to the original. He could have like tried to make it different, but didn't really do anything for the album. The single Nowhere to Run was forgettable for me. The rest was just okay. The production value was very like pristine and like modern pop music style. I would have liked it if the band had more of like an organic or more of a raw sound. I think they're trying to cater to a very wide audience of both like metal fans and pop fans, but in the end, they're pretty much going to please like neither of them. Despite its good moments, it's just a 6.5 for me. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Up next, Motor Sister Get Off and an anniversary review of Fear of the Dark by Iron Maidens. I'll do those in the next 2 days. In the meantime, please remember like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.